What if I told you SummerSlam 2026 could end with 3 different world champions crowned in one single weekend? A Hell in a Cell survivor who gives up everything just to prove a point, and a surprise return that shakes the entire roster to its core? Stick around, because I'm about to break down every major storyline heading into the biggest party of the summer. Welcome back to WWE Express, and if you love wrestling storytelling as much as I do, hit that subscribe button right now, because today we're diving deep into everything building towards SummerSlam. Let's start with some context, because this year's show is already historic before a single bell rings. SummerSlam is heading to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis for a 2-night spectacle, the first time that city has ever hosted a WWE stadium show. 2 full nights means WWE has room to tell more stories than ever before, and based on everything we've seen building on Raw and SmackDown over the past few weeks, this could be one of the most stacked cards in the event's history. SummerSlam has always carried a certain weight in wrestling culture, often called the biggest party of the summer, and every year it seems to find a way to top itself. This year, with 2 stadium nights and a roster loaded with momentum, the pressure is on to deliver something truly unforgettable. So let's get into the matches and stories that are already shaping up to define the weekend. First, the match that could steal the entire show. Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi are heading into a Hell in a Cell match, and this isn't just a rematch, it's a finale to a rivalry that's been building since before WrestleMania. Femi did something almost unthinkable a few weeks ago. He gave up a guaranteed King of the Ring title opportunity just to get one more shot at Lesnar. Think about that for a second. A young star with the entire world at his feet chose legacy over gold. That's the kind of decision that either makes a legend or breaks one completely. Femi has spent months proving he belongs at the top of the card, dominating names across the roster, and now he's staring down one of the most dangerous competitors to ever step into a WWE ring. If Femi walks out of that cell standing over Brock Lesnar, we are not just watching a win, we're watching a coronation, the official passing of a torch from one era of dominance to the next. But if Lesnar finds a way to survive inside that structure, using every dirty trick and every ounce of experience he has, it only proves the beast still has one more fight left in him before he's truly done. Either way, steel, blood, and legacy are all on the line here, and this has main event written all over it. Now let's talk about a rivalry that has been building for over a decade. Roman Reigns defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins, and these two have unfinished business dating all the way back to their Shield days. Rollins has made it clear this is personal. He wants to end what he calls the Vision era and take back the title he feels was always meant to be his. This will only be the 3rd time these two have ever met one-on-one at a premium live event, which tells you just how rare and significant this collision really is. Reigns isn't walking in alone either. Jacob Fatu has been standing at his side through this entire chapter, which means this could easily turn into more than a simple one-on-one story. Could Fatu's presence become the deciding factor in the finish? Could Rollins finally silence years of frustration and prove he's still the best in the world? Or does the tribal chief find yet another way to escape with the title still around his waist, extending his reign and his legacy even further? However this one plays out, it feels like the kind of match that closes a chapter for good, and possibly opens an entirely new one for whoever walks out victorious. Speaking of the Bloodline, we can't talk about this build without touching on the civil war that's been simmering for months. Solo Sikoa's path has been anything but straightforward, and with Fatu now firmly aligned with Reigns, the tension inside that family tree feels closer to boiling over than ever. The Usos, Tama Tonga, and the rest of the extended Bloodline orbit all have unfinished business with each other, and SummerSlam weekend feels like exactly the kind of stage where old grudges get settled. Don't be shocked if a match booked as a simple tag or trios contest turns into the flashpoint for the next chapter of this entire saga. This is a story that has rewarded patient viewers for years now, and the payoff could land at any moment. On the women's side, Iyo Sky is chasing history against Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. Sky already beat Morgan once to win the Queen of the Ring crown, and now she wants to prove that win wasn't a fluke. Morgan has been one of the most dominant and resilient champions in recent memory, someone who has found new ways to retain her title even when the odds looked completely stacked against her. This has the potential to be one of the most technically sharp and emotionally charged matches of the entire weekend. If Sky captures the title, it cements her as one of the biggest breakout stars to emerge from this era of WWE, someone who took her Queen of the Ring win and turned it into full championship gold. If Morgan finds a way to retain, it only adds another incredible chapter to what's already shaping up as one of the most impressive championship reigns in recent memory. Then there's the biggest question mark heading into the summer. Who is walking into SummerSlam as the undisputed WWE champion, and who exactly are they defending against? Sami Zayn's reign has been one of the most emotional stories WWE has told in years, a true underdog who spent years being overlooked finally reaching the very top of the mountain. But the shadow of the Bloodline never fully goes away, and speculation continues to swirl around several names circling the championship, including GUSO, Cody Rhodes, and even wildcards from further up the card. If Zayn walks into SummerSlam still holding that title, it could be one of the most celebrated and emotional moments of the entire night, a feel-good story continuing on the grandest possible stage. And if he loses it, the story of how he gets there and who takes it from him matters just as much as the outcome itself. This is exactly the kind of storyline where the journey means more than the result, and however it unfolds, it's going to be must-watch television. Let's also talk about the tag team and midcard scene, because SummerSlam weekends are often where hidden gems steal the spotlight. With 2 full nights to fill, there's real speculation that we could see the Usos involved in a high-profile tag match, possibly even a rematch against familiar opposition, giving G and Jimmy USO a chance to reclaim some of their former glory. There's also buzz building around Gunther, following a heated backstage confrontation that's been teased on recent programming. Could this lead to an in-ring return for a name who hasn't competed in years? If WWE pulls the trigger, it could be one of the most surprising additions to the entire card. And let's not overlook the King of the Ring storyline itself. Traditionally, the winner receives a guaranteed title opportunity at SummerSlam, but with Femi fully consumed by his war against Lesnar, it raises the question of whether the tradition gets honored this year, or whether it gets pushed aside entirely in favor of the bigger picture. Beyond the confirmed matches, there's a whole layer of undercard intrigue worth paying attention to. Reports suggest WWE could be planning somewhere between 13 and 14 matches spread across the 2 nights, which means there's a massive amount of space still waiting to be filled. That kind of room often becomes the perfect breeding ground for statement wins, surprise pairings, and title defenses nobody saw coming a month out. Intercontinental and United States Championship pictures could shift entirely between now and August, and with this many stars on one card, even matches billed as secondary attractions have the potential to become the most talked about moments of the entire weekend. And we can't ignore the wildcard energy building around this entire show. Reports and rumors have continued to point toward a possible surprise return, with speculation swirling around a certain former world champion making his way back into the fold, potentially even in his own hometown. If that happens in front of a stacked stadium crowd, the pop alone could be absolutely unforgettable, the kind of moment that lives on highlight reels for years to come. SummerSlam has always been the kind of stage where legends reappear at exactly the right moment, whether it's answering an old challenge or setting up a fresh rivalry heading into the fall. This year feels no different, and if even half of these rumors turn out to be true, we could be looking at one of the most star-studded SummerSlam cards in recent memory. With 13 to 14 matches reportedly planned across the 2 nights, there's still plenty of room for surprises we haven't even considered yet. Championships could change hands in matches nobody expects. New rivalries could ignite in the closing moments of the show. And with this much star power on one card, the ripple effects from SummerSlam weekend could shape WWE programming all the way into the fall and beyond, influencing everything from the road to the next Royal Rumble to whatever comes next for the Bloodline saga. So here's what I want to know from you. Does Oba Femi survive the cell and become the new face of this era? Does Roman Reigns finally lose the title to Seth Rollins after all these years? Does Sami Zayn's championship story get one more incredible chapter, or does it come to an end in Minneapolis? And which surprise return are you personally hoping to see walk through that curtain? Drop your predictions in the comments below, because I want to see who called it right once the dust finally settles on SummerSlam weekend. That's going to do it for today's deep dive. If you enjoyed this breakdown of everything building toward the biggest party of the summer, make sure you're subscribed to WWE Express so you never miss a storyline breakdown again. Hit that like button, drop your predictions down below, and I'll see you in the next one.